Hi 4th graders, Mrs. Nelson, and I am going to show you how I want you to use a protractor. Now I probably have already given you a protractor, and you can use your protractor directly on the screen of your computer to help you find angles. So to do this, you will take your protractor, and I'm going to just drag mine around here, and I'm going to lay it up. You notice, let's just take a look at this protractor here. There's a couple different things you want to notice. You have here the blue lines, and you have here the black lines, okay? And in other videos, you've already noticed that these have a very specific job, depending on how you are going to measure your angle. Now, if you want to start at 0, then you're going to use the blue. So if I move this here and put the little cross, the intersecting lines perpendicular right at the corner, right there, then I'm going to say that this side is starting at 0. So I'm going to use the blue lines. Now this might not be true for everything I measure, but for this one, because I'm lining it up on the right-hand side, and the line is straight, I'm going to start with this being absolutely 0. So I'm going to use the 0. You always go from 0 to 180. So then I'm going to say, okay, so now that I have it all lined up, you can take your protractor and do the same on the screen if you wanted to. Now I'm going to take a line and I'm going to pull that out so that I have this marked off right there. So I take my pin, draw a line to the nearest, and this will put it at about 45 degrees. Now I'll take it, if you are 1 or 2 degrees off, that'll be okay. I'll accept your answer as long as you're reasonably. If you're 5 degrees off, if you're 1 or 2 degrees off, I'll take your answer. If you are more than 3 degrees off, I won't take your answer. So this is about 40 degrees. So I'm using the blue, and so I'm coming straight up, and that's halfway in between the 30 and the 40. So this is about 35 degrees right there. So if I'm going 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, so this is about 35 degrees. So this angle is roughly 35 degrees. Okay, so we'll go ahead. So now I have a new angle I would like to measure. So if I take it and plop it right in the middle here, move my face out of the way, I notice that I have a problem. Neither one of my arms on my angle line up with anything. So now I could come over here and say, well, I'm going to line it up with the 0 on this side. I could do that, absolutely. I can do either. And then I would use the black, because black actually says that this is 0. So I always start with 0. I'm going to get rid of that. Or I could come over here and I could say, I'm going to line it up using the right-hand side here, and then I would use blue. So it kind of depends on how the angle is sitting. It doesn't matter whether you use the right side or the left side, you just have to start at 0. So on this one, I'm actually going to line it up using the other side, just because. So I'm going to line it up using the black side. So I'm going to use the black side right here, up here, not the blue side. I could, and I'll show you doing the blue side. So now I'm going to click out over here and say, oh, okay, so where does that mean? So remember, I'm using the black. So I'm using this black top part. So I'm going to line it up off of the other arm here, and that puts me at about 131 degrees, roughly 131 degrees. If I have this lined up absolutely correct. There. I have it lined up perfectly. 130, probably 132 is what I would have to say there. 132 degrees, because I'm counting from 130 with excuse me, I'm counting, yep, so 130, 131, 132 to that line. So that's kind of what I'm showing for that angle. Now, I'm going to line it up using the 0, whoops, here. So I'm going to drag it over to this side and line it up on that line. And then I'm going to use, since I'm lining up off the blue right here, I'm lining it off the blue. I'm going to now use the blue side to line up. So, dot here, and put it out here. So again, 132, roughly, 132. And that's the angle that I would have on this little guy. Now remember, you can do it either way. Alright, if you have questions or concerns, we'll be working together on this, you and I, in small group, because this is kind of tricky. I will see you on the next video.